I muted myself. I was yapping. This is sad and funny, so I'm gonna keep that in. But what I was gonna say is that the video being late is my own time mismanagement on top of, I wanted to announce this, and I'm gonna say it in the Discord server too. I'm changing my upload days to Sunday at 11:30, because I feel like uploading Saturday later in the day, for some odd reason, doesn't give me as many views as uploading Sunday in the morning. So I usually already get done with my videos by Saturday at 4. It's just, it's an experiment to see if this will help my channel in any way. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to Saturday, but I just want to see if my superstition is correct. Onto the actual video. So this was supposed to be the last part of the Undertale Simulator video, and I apologize. I hope you guys can see the magical, oh wait, you wouldn't have. And I apologize for it not being that. Here. Sorry, I lost my thought. Oh, I was having coffee with a friend from, a friend, we'll just say a friend for the sake of, for privacy's sake, and we were having coffee, hadn't seen each other. I've never really seen her draw, and she was like, oh, I want to do an art trade with you, and I, because I've seen your sketches and I really like it, yada yada. This isn't like a really close IRL friend per se, so I was like, okay, yeah, sure, right, and we did it, and she was like, oh man, I haven't drawn in so long, it's been like 3 years since I've done it regularly, and she showed me some stuff from 3 months ago. I'm not gonna show it because I don't have pictures, but I'm not shitting you. If you told me this person hadn't drawn in for 3 months and then drew that and then didn't draw for another 3 months, I'd be like, no, the fuck they did not. No, I refuse to believe that. And then it made me a little insecure, and I decided I needed to do some more studies. So, here I am drawing hands. Did I really improve very greatly from this? No, I think next time I do this, I'm gonna do it in my sketchbook, because I feel like that's where I'll make the most progress. At least with, like, construction, like, hands and, like, mostly hands. Hands and stuff. I'm not gonna get better at drawing feet. I might get better at drawing the shape of feet, but toes are my worst nightmare, and I don't want to look like one of those. So I'm not gonna be very good at drawing feet. I'm okay with that. If anything, it's probably good for my mental health to not be very good at drawing feet. Let me see if I tilt this, if this will. Okay, now we're catching my mouth better. So, but I do want to get better at drawing hands. I feel like my hands, sometimes they look good, and sometimes they look like applesauce. Like they're too thick. I'm not really good at drawing the connector to the hand to the wrist, that I've realized. And it's something I don't know how to make better. So I just kept repeating it. These single hand sketches where I did draw the hand connecting to the wrist were actually some better examples. It's weird to say I need to practice drawing wrists of all things. But this made me feel better because I was like, oh, these aren't all garbage. Some of them are, to me at the very least. But they're not all garbage. So it did make me feel a little better. I was gonna fill up this pretend sketchbook page with a bunch of hands all the way across the board, but I ended up running out of ideas after the peace sign. The peace sign is I don't know what to do with the hand and I give up. and I've basically memorized how to draw it because I've drawn so many people doing it. Same thing with the Korean heart, because it's actually, once you get over the fact that the hand isn't a fist, it is so much easier than drawing the traditional hand heart where the two hands are together, because you just have to draw the index and the thumb crossing each other. I'm looking at my hand like you can see my hand. You know what? If ever I get hand tracking, I feel like these videos you would tell I'm Italian, we'll just say that. And so instead of going with more hand poses, I decided I would try to draw the anatomy of a hand. And I kind of regretted this. I didn't completely regret it. It could have been more sucky for me. But I ended up deciding to do it because I thought it would help me with my wrist problem and kind of re-understanding hands, because I've done this before a million times, but to lock in, because I did get a little insecure, I decided to do it again, especially because I feel like sometimes I'm not sure how long I need to make the fingers, or make them too long or too short. So seeing the actual like parts of the bones, it also helped me kind of understand what's going on with the wrist, and I labeled them too. The planars, the metacarpals, and the carpals. So the basically, you can see this. You have like the base part of your hand, and that's kind of where your wrist is, and then your fingers shoot up through the like palm of your hand. And yeah, it's a long. I'm not a doctor, but it helped me kind of help me out on the knuckles and watch seeing it how like. Because I feel like I tend to make my the fingers all different lengths, but from coming from the same point. And looking at the anatomy of a hand, really like actually like focusing on the bones, I was able to like go, oh wait a minute, been doing this wrong. They kind of every single part between the skin kind of has a different point of like exiting, if that makes sense. Like if you look at between the ring finger and the pinky, the dip between them is lower than the one between the ring finger and the middle finger. I don't know the professional term for middle finger other than the bird. Caw. So we'll just say caw. For the next one, I decided to try to do. Oh wait, was it the? No. Wait. No, it was this one. Okay. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain moment. So for the next one, I didn't do a lot of figure drawing. Like I said, this would be a lot better if I decided to do this traditionally, but I ended up being like, I don't have the lighting and I have to clean my desk and it'll be easier this way. I should have just cleaned my damn desk. I feel like I would have gotten more from this. I might do this again in the next few weeks and just do it and charge the spare phone I use for recording. And before you go, oh my god, you have so much money, it's a $50 Android phone. And yeah, I drew this little like Frankenstein character who keeps on like turning into different characters and mutating, and was once a deer hybrid and is now just a normal Frankenstein, and he had pink hair and now has lavender hair. They don't have a name. I just was like, I'm gonna draw this, and then it turned into I'm gonna draw that, but it's still gonna be this. It's just gonna be a different design because I don't feel like making multiple characters. But yeah, I drew multiple. My favorite way to draw these figure drawings is to actually draw statues. I know that's like such a weird thing, but I feel like when people intentionally sculpt things, the poses are just so like fire. I don't know, and it's like, I don't know if that makes sense. It's like so much more like, to me, like it's like I guess I got it from art class in high school, because I also love drawing like the Greek and Roman statues, the marble ones, as figure drawings, but I got that more from art history because we had to do that for a while. as like we had to do a weekly project to show that we were into it, and I always picked drawing a picture because all I had to do was recreate an older and it's something from art history. And for a long time I was drawing a bunch of old Greek and Roman statues, and I actually really liked it, and I put a lot of work into these little pencil drawings. I would show them, but they're all like naked people, so we're gonna leave it at that. But that's basically what I did. I didn't use Greek or Roman statues, which I think I might do next time just for funsies. But I did get little statues of like fairies and stuff, and I just copied them. The big picture I hate a lot. That's getting redrawn. I don't know what the hell happened here. It looks like caca. And I apologize for that deeply. Other than, yeah, it looks like caca. For the next, on to the next one, because I don't have very much to say other than I did figure drawing. Because at this point I was like, I don't have a lot to improve. I mean, I do, like, okay, how do I put this in a way without sounding like a self-pretentious butthole? Yes, I have a lot to work on. Yes, I have a lot to work on. No, this is not me being a pretentious butt, but have I studied these things before? Especially figure drawing? Yes, so I love it. But I felt like I wasn't picking up as much that I should have. Like I said, we're gonna try this again. I just wanted to lock in and just focus on not being insecure about it, about my art. This might turn into a series where I just lock in and try to do studies. Because I feel like my art's kind of stagnated when I started. Because at first when I started doing weekly content, my art like drastically improved. But once I started doing the same thing over and over again, I feel like I got to a point where I stagnated. And so I feel like I'm not going anywhere. Instead, I'm just kind of on a hamster wheel running instead of like running in a field. So I want to try to not, you know. The next thing I did was I practiced the planes of the face. I want to put this into more of my art. It's an easy concept to get and understand, but it's a hard concept to put into practice, especially when you learned how to draw by like copying Nightcore drawings like I did. So doing it on a realistic face, super easy. Trying to put the planes of the face in my art style without my character looking like an alien from the outer space. Outer space, there is no other outer space, is a task that is hard, but I think that me breaking it down in my style, in my proportions, I guess, helped. I think next time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a face and then draw the planes. I ended up drawing a normal face over this because it freaked me out and I didn't like looking at the planes of the face without, in my style, without like pupils and nostrils and a real mouth, and it looked like just muscle instead of like this amazing like artistic study on the left. To me it looked like an anime girl that got de-skinned. So I decided that for the best appealing to my eyes that it was gonna get sketched over a little bit. Not enough to where I lost everything, but enough to where I didn't feel like I was just drawing somebody's flesh, you know? So I did that, and then I colored it in. I used blue. Originally I was going for these things to look like something that came out of your, like it was just a sketchbook, but I eventually lost the plot of that. As you can tell, the plot has been lost. It is gone by this point. By this point, I'm just like, I'm trying to understand these things that I feel like I'm inept at. And I'm sitting, and the reason I only did 3 is because I'm like, I draw quickly and I could have popped out more, but popping out more and understanding are two different things. I've also been having art block that has been kicking me repeatedly. I forgot to export the last one. Okay. I might disappear. Oh wait, I didn't! That's a miracle! So, the last one is actually a rendering study that... wait, did I send it to myself? Did I forget to download it like a dingle? I'm sorry, my videos are... This is getting sped up, or... I sent it to myself. Why? I had it! I exported it! What the fuck? Okay, we're gonna look at it on my drawing tablet, and I'm gonna talk about it, because I feel like that's the way to go. Because I forgot to export it like a dingle dork. So, after I did all this... Pause, damn you. Okay, so after I did all this, and I shaded it, and I highlighted it, I kind of understood how to do these in my style, like for lighting purposes, and like rendering purposes, because I tend to only render the nose and then the rest of the face is flat. Again, it's a flaw of my art, I guess you could say, or not my art, but the way I learned how to draw. And this is not me saying that you can't learn how to draw a certain way, but like if you learn how to draw like how I did, you're gonna have trouble with the planes of the face later because you're so used to drawing flat anime girl faces and your brain cannot comprehend planes, and it's like rendering them and making them lighting without it looking like a defleshed alien. So yeah, this was my planes of the face study. This I'm probably going to be heavily referencing a lot or redoing, to try to, you know, level up, I guess, in a way. For the next one, which should be going on now, or should have already been going on, and, yep, we're at, okay. For the next one, I wanted to do a rendering study. I'm sorry, I'm looking down at what I'm like trying to do, and I'm trying to make sure you can still see me yapping. And I've been fiddling with the way I render for a while. I thought I could like just do a video about it and solve it, but that didn't work that way. It's because I have a lot more fun traditionally rendering, and I'm trying to figure out how to digitally recreate the illusion of like Posca markers or like paint pen markers, because that's how I like to render on traditional. And I haven't found that yet. I do know that I like coloring my line art. I tried using this acrylic brush as line art. Hindsight, I don't like it. I think I like it for the eyelashes, and that's about it. I'm gonna probably go back to my graphite after this study. I decided to draw Stella, which kind of threw out my planes of the face out like the third story, because she doesn't have a realistic face. She's not meant to. She's a living doll. And she's a living doll that's meant to look cute and pretty to perform in a circus. Which means she does not have, she has kind of the same facial structure as a human, but it's a lot more flat and clean. It's like literally just like a doll. I don't know how else to explain that. So some of the nuances, like of the planes of the face, I was just like, well, I just threw that out, but I was like, I want to draw Stella, so we're drawing Stella. I also did a practice, as you can see in the first corner, I did a practice of a ball of how I wanted to try to render it. Looking at it now, it's not the best. When I was rendering Stella, though, trying to recreate that, I think it looked better. I was also trying to keep in mind the light position, because I tend to just do random lighting, and then I tend to do random shading, somewhat and then apply the lighting later to an extent, and I feel like that's bad. And then after that, I rendered the skin, and the hair and the clothes, and the only part of the rendering I really like and want to keep is the rendering of the hair. I think it looks really nice. The skin looks muddy to me, but I'm not sure how to fix it. And same thing, the clothes don't look as muddy to me. I want to figure out, because I feel like I had this a few years ago and then I lost the information on how to blend, blend on a multiply layer like this and not make it look like muddy on certain areas, because I feel like the skin doesn't look like how it should. Because I want to do a more, like, instead of hard, like, I want to do more of a, like, it's not acrylic marker being painted on top of each other, like that kind of look. Because I like that look a lot, and I just can't figure out how to do it digitally because I prefer to do digital, and I don't own a lot of paint markers. The only thing I've really done in paint when I realized I liked to paint was Alien Miku, because I only had blue, green, and gray. And black. Or was that a Sharpie? Regardless, before we go down that rabbit hole, that's what I wanted to do for this, or try to do. It didn't turn out. The only places I achieved that look were the gold accents and the hair. The skin and the clothes didn't achieve what I really wanted as much. But now I know how I want to do hair. You can't see my face. I'm like, hey. But that's how I want to do it. And that was my studies for this week. Like I said, not a lot. I was trying to understand as I was drawing it. This video is probably way too damn long. And I apologize for that. But thank you guys so much for watching and being appreciative, or not being appreciative, but understanding of the new Sunday scenario. I don't love changing the schedule on you guys because I understand the hell, but I think it will do good for the channel, like, in the end, if that makes sense. But regardless, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.